Hi everyone, my name is Ryan.
My name is Filippo.
And today we're going to bring you a special video all around Mr. Lee Sedol.
Yeah, so this is a very exciting and very important games, which is the last 3 games of Lee Sedol in his career.
Right. So Lee Sedol just announced that he was going to retire. And that was a very big news in the Go community because Lee Sedol has been one of the best Go players ever. And he has definitely put in a lot of memories in his career.
Yeah, I still remember when I was learning Go, he was one of the young players who challenging the old systems of Go players and became the very beginning of the young talented players, which at the age of 10 maybe, to become the very top player.
He was, wasn't it? And also, in terms of his style, in terms of Go playing, he was very innovative in terms of his style. It was different from the previous styles of many Go players. As you know, some players call him zombie style, although it sounds a lot better in other languages than English. So that means like a style where he kind of leaves groups unattended that are not completely alive, but also will take a lot of effort to kill. And often if you weren't able to kill one of his groups, you would actually lose points instead of gain points.
Yeah, but interestingly, when we review some of his games in the early days, some of the zombie style games are actually in his control. So maybe I believe that it's his controlling and reading ability are a lot higher than
other players at that time. Exactly, right. And I think one of the most memorable games of Lee Sedol was the ladder game, right? I think it's known as the ladder game, where Lee Sedol played a ladder that didn't work, and he captured a big group somewhere else.
Yeah, I still remember that it was beginning from the top left corner all the way down to
all the way through the board, but he still won that game. And that was the first time I personally heard about Lee Sedol. It was one of his games that really went down in history. Although that game, as you said, wasn't too important. But I guess another one of his games is the 4 quadruple ko. It was the Eternal Ko. It was the game between Lee Sedol and Lee, and it was in the finals of the Samsung Cup, one of the most important games. And I think as Go players, it's difficult to actually get an Eternal Ko in a game. I think I've personally never had one in a serious game before. So, and having one in the finals is definitely one to remember. And at the end of that match, he went on to win against Lee in the finals. Actually won 2 half-point games, which is also very Lee Sedol.
Yeah, so besides his skills, I think he's also charismatic in terms of his personal charismatics, I think. Yeah, so he always like to speak out.
Right. He had a lot of opinions that he wasn't afraid to let out.
Maybe in the early days it's kind of confrontational to some people's points of view, but I think he always try to be himself. Right. That's why many people admire him.
Right. And I think one of the big kind of, maybe this might be slightly controversial, but I like to mention it because in honor of Lee Sedol and his retirement, it would be a shame not to say this. And I think one of the big things he was challenging is kind of the pro system management in Korea. And forgive me if I say something wrong, but to my knowledge, he was really challenging the way the pro system worked, because a lot of players had to pay money and to enter the association, and basically they had to hand in a part of their winnings to the association. But the pros there they were forced to be part of this system. And he was really questioning this because obviously he won a lot of tournaments, 14 world titles in total, and also many other international tournaments. So the 14 was only the official ones, right? And so he won a lot of these winnings, but he had to hand it in to the association, which he thought it was really unfair. So he went on this battle with the association, and I think I don't know if this had to do with his retirement, but it was definitely something he was known for to speak out about.
Yeah, I know in 2009 he was temporarily suspended for half a year. I think his main point is about being against with the bureaucratic system
Right,
of
right.
the current Baduk association.
Yes.
And he believed that the Baduk system was a big barrier for the young players to get in. And that's why he wants to do something good for himself and for all the players.
Right, right. So he was definitely also very influential in that sense, in terms of the young players who, well, many of them really look up to him. Although personally, when you interact with him, it might be a little hard to talk to him. I know, so Mark Lee, he once told me, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, that Lee Sedol isn't very good at interacting with other players. And like, for example, players like to say hi when they walk past each other, but you know, that kind of thing.
But Guli was his best friend though.
Really? Are you sure about that?
They drank a lot of white wine.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So Guli actually played a lot of. They played each other in a lot of the world titles.
Yeah.
And I think Lee Sedol won more of those than Guli, but they were very good rivals at the time, I believe. You know. So since Lee Sedol is retiring now, we have gathered his 3 games that he's playing against the AI. So the rule set is a little interesting. Do you want to tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, the rule is that there are 3 games in total, and we begin with the 2-stone handicap with black Comey 6.5. If Lee Sedol wins, it will become an even game, and if the AI wins, then the next game will be 3 handicaps, and then if another win, 4 handicaps. So it is really a challenge for Lee Sedol.
So it plus minus is 1 stone depending on whether you win or lose. But no matter what, the Comey is always that amount.
Yeah, 6.5.
Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at this first match. Do you know anything about this AI, by the way?
I think it's Handol. It's
Is
a
it,
Korean developed AI, and I believe the first version of Korean AI is Crazy Stones. But I think Handol is, according to some some AI developers in China, my friend, they told me that Handol is about a similar level of Lila.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's very strong then.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's not every day we get to put 2 stones here before the start. So the AI plays, takes a corner first, and then does this enclosure. So whenever you see an AI take a 3-4, you know they're going to enclose the next move, right?
Yeah, but I think that for human, if you are white facing these handicap games, it's not often for us to put 2 stones on the corner. Right. We want to approach and
exactly right. And I think this is a topic that we wanted to talk about is, you know, how to play handicaps in general. And this is a good chance because we have the 2-stone handicap, and later we'll also have potential handicap games. So it's a good chance to kind of go into some of the strategies. And personally, I'm not sure. How should we play the handicap games as the person playing with the handicaps?
I actually don't have many experience playing handicaps as white, but I do play a lot of handicap games when I was learning Go. At that time, I was taught that you should better play some more conservative kind of skills so that it's easier for you to control in this kind of game.
Yes, I think I was taught the same, and I think we were all at that point where we were learning and we took some handicaps, right? But I think it's important to differentiate between conservative and playing too slow. Yeah. And that's one of the hardest things to learn about Go, I believe. Yeah. Is when is your play too slow, or is it just conservative and is it just keeping moving? I think this is a topic we'll get back to later on. So, this is not really what Lee Sedol is doing.
Yeah, nonetheless, Lee Sedol's style is always attacking.
Yep. So he pincers, and this is a big move for the 2 space.
Yeah, I think this is a definite weakness for this kind of cooler.
Right.
And then since the ladder works,
and then black attaches, so he also ignores the approach. And white harness below and cut.
And now I think there are 2 choices. One is this and one is this.
Yeah, sorry. So let's maybe we could step back. So the ladder being that if white can't hane this way because black could hane, and since black has the ladder, white cannot atari here, and then which means white locally doesn't have a good move anymore. So that's why white has to hane below, and then we have this crosscut situation, and now white has to protect the corner, and then black.
Oh, this one.
Right. So black descended. I think descending, I guess, puts a little more pressure into the corner, and then 2 space. So
I think at this point, Lee Sedol should be satisfied about this local version because I think at least this stone acts as 2 purposes. Right.
Right. And I think Lee Sedol is really good at playing moves that you would play. Sometimes, like when I get the idea that when he plays his opponents, he kind of uses their own strategies against them. Like when he plays Guli, he always fought a lot too. And then when he plays like other players, maybe Lee Chang-ho, he would also play these really strong moves and then counterattack as well. So he's really good at using, and in this case, he's using the AI strategies against it, kind of. Yeah. So now white needs to continue here because getting an extra move here is bigger than capturing those 2 stones. So white continues here.
So in AI's mind, I think the bottom left corner is a bit awkward for black actually. So we know that for this shape we go down in the second line, right?
For sure,
and even for this one we all go to the second line, but only for this it's inappropriate to play here.
Right. There's all sorts of attachments. It's very awkward shape when that stone's 1 space.
But this one is not very interesting either.
This one the AI really hates, I think.
Yeah.
They basically say whenever you connect, it's minus 5% at least. So in this case, black Tanukis, which is also kind of in the AI's mind as well. So he's playing very like AI. So it jumps out.
So white takes that.
Oh, white cut right away.
So.
So now this side becomes bigger when white becomes strong here. White approaches on this side, there will be lower potential. So defending this is the biggest move now.
But this approach is very important.
Kick. Did he kick first? Did he kick first?
No.
Oh, he didn't? Okay. I think...
If you kick now... I think I'll play this one instead, right?
Yeah.
It's also possible, I think.
I guess the reason why is, I guess maybe he's not afraid of the attachment.
Yeah.
So he doesn't feel the need to kick early.
I believe if you kick, he's afraid of what's fighting out, and these 2 stones might be a help.
Right. But I guess
But nonetheless, white also jumps out.
Yeah. And then he extended first. Yeah.
My initial feeling of this is that the shape is a bit awkward.
I guess he's treating this more lightly.
Yeah.
It's kind of his way of dealing with things, right? But
I'm not sure whether the shape will be better if we play something like this.
But it's too heavy for Lee Sedol.
Yeah. That's what I call conservative, right?
Oh, right.
This leaves some uncertainty about
it's
the
way
connection.
stronger shape in terms of the connection. Now this white can capture these 3 stones by attaching here at any time at the moment.
Yes.
So it's kind of missing a move.
Nonetheless, you cannot spend another move here. It's too slow.
Now that would be too slow.
So we attack. So up to here now, I believe all of us can see that this is definitely not the best shape of black. But the good news is that this group and these two groups are very heavy.
Yep. So now we're already getting into that situation. We have all these groups flying around in the board, and no one knows what's going on. But maybe the AI knows better what's going on. So white jumps out here, and black plays the knight's move. So
yeah. So of course there is some danger here, and there is an imminent threat of being closed downside. But this
it's too big.
Yeah,
it's too big of a move. Oh, you always need to defend your territory first.
I believe Lee Sedol is confident that if you play some aggressive moves right now, there is a way to break up.
Right. So, very AI. I don't think we need to comment on this because I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing. So after this, black sees the need to protect now.
I believe Lee Sedol trusts AI's reading.
Right.
If you still respond up there, I will kill you.
Right. So now he comes back in over here.
But once again, is this first hold?
We connected first, and then white Hane Taurus.
As I mentioned, the shape is very awkward.
Right. So this seems like all preparation moves.
Yeah.
So this is a very cool combination, I think, right? The peep first and then here.
Normally, if you play here, I would play something here. It's very solid and very nice shape.
But now after this exchange of white peeps here, black would never connect here. Black would at least play the bamboo.
Yeah.
But now if it's like this already, if black extends, then it's going to be very bad shapes.
Yeah, so black is forced to play something here.
Yeah.
Which gives more pressure to the outside white, but also
there's also potential wedge and potential sente moves here. So I feel like the AI is doing preparation moves.
Yeah.
And this is the time when I play the AIs, I have no idea what they're doing, and I get really nervous because they're just playing moves that you know you have to respond. But then after you respond, they kill you. They kill something. So
even if you respond, they get something.
Right. So here, Lee Sedol is being very stubborn. He's not giving away anything.
Yeah.
And by towering.
My initial feeling is something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you cut and eat, I will get it out. You are floating, and I'm all
So I'll probably have to play this.
Yeah.
In the future.
So
and then
the good thing about this is that you don't have sente here.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. But I mean, in terms of points, this is worse.
Right.
So Lee Sedol decided to.
It's hard to say.
Nothing.
Yes. So he's being very stubborn here, and he's really just taking everything. Right. So it doesn't give up the corner. Captures it. And white connects back.
This is a sente.
And that's sente because white can Atari here now in Hane into the corner, so black requires another move here. And now white really needs to get something, right?
I think. Another preparation move?
So, right. Did the... Yep. It's harder to memorize AI moves, I feel like. And then here...
I think this definitely means something.
Yeah, but...
Nobody will respond here, but it will be another thing.
Right, that would be sente. So this is, even though locally is worse, but it ensures that this is a go-to move. And I think this really mattered later on. Yeah. And then of course we have the cap, like Osumi's, and then we have the loose net. So be careful when your opponent plays this type of net against you, because if you push into it carelessly, it's easy to make it strong without actually escaping. So it's important to do a little more reading in this case and see how you can break through first before actually exchanging any of these pushes.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we remember that this is a two-stone handicap game. So even though white plays a lot of preparation, it is still...
Black still had that original advantage. That's hard to get across. And then we have this jump. So we're actually getting deeper and deeper into this fight. So I believe white attached. So that we see this preparation now. After all this, white can escape this group out.
So,
and then we have a potential mistake. It seems this AI just push and cut right now. Actually, sorry. After the push.
Yeah. Actually, at this point, Lee Sedol has a chance to, retreat, and then by playing here. Oh, I think he probably needs to. Exchange something here. This will be the center, right?
But maybe he can't do that first because white might connect here. Because white might connect here if you exchange those first.
Doesn't that works?
I can... Is that possible?
But even if I this exchange...
Capture the inside.
Is it big enough? I think this kind of things may be 70, so it will.
But then why didn't he extend? Because if white connects here, white doesn't gain anything at all, it seems.
Whether we'll gain these two stones?
At the expense of this though, right?
Yeah.
So it's not even that immediate.
Yeah, so actually when I was reading it, my initial feeling was this.
Yeah. It seems like a relatively obvious move.
Yeah.
But this is worse than this, right? If black plays here, black can capture that stone. So maybe that's what Lee Sedol was thinking. He was like, oh, this is even better.
Yeah. But this is very dangerous.
So you see his ideology in terms of Go is different, right? Because before his time, people usually think when you're ahead, you just play safer, right? But Lee Sedol never really retreated. He always captured more, even when he was ahead.
He always trusts his reading, I think.
He always trusts his reading. And he never retreats. He always picks the best move. And I think that's a very good starting point for a pro, is that you should always go for the best variation no matter what the state of the game is like.
So the best move is what we call the God move, right?
Right. Oh, here we go. Another move here. And this is, he kind of debuted again here. Remember when he played AlphaGo? He made that move.
Yeah.
And do you remember the move number?
78.
78. And interestingly, this is also move 78.
Yeah.
So remember, Lee Sedol played as white in that game, but because this is a two-stone handicap, this is also a move 78. But wow. I think two things came to my mind is that, one, how the AIs improved so quickly, right? Back then, when it was the original version of AlphaGo, there was even games.
Yeah.
And Lee Sedol won. And that was such a big, it definitely left a huge moment in our hearts that, humans, we still, even though we couldn't beat the AIs, we still left that one kink in that 5-0 record. And here now we go again, even though it's a two-stone handicap, still move 78. Lee Sedol showed the AIs who's boss. And that's him.
I think Lee Sedol is the two of the only players who won AI in the formal matches, and he won 2.
Right. And both of those games were won by him, basically, right? Yeah. So why does this move work?
Yeah. So
what if white Atari's here?
The ladder doesn't work.
The ladder doesn't work, so I can't do anything there.
Yeah.
So I still have to protect this somehow.
Yeah.
And then if I extend, and I can't push out here. So
remember, so this is the center of mine, and you cannot do one-step capture.
So I can't push out this way now, so I have to somehow escape?
Yeah. So now I'll probably just connect.
Because I think if I connect and you connect, it's pretty much Sente as well.
Yeah, because this extent is massive.
Right, so I have to play 2 moves here anyway.
And then
okay.
So
now all this group has been...
Yeah, according to observations, this white group is a few liberties short, I think.
Probably by at least a few liberties.
Yeah, because this kind of extend will become a lot of liberties.
And there's no way for white to extend liberties anymore. Right. But wow, this move...
Yeah, I think this move is based on a lot of Sente's surroundings. This honey, this forcing move, and this forcing move. And remember, there is at least a backdoor of black, which is I can play this forcing move here. If we connect, I'll play this tiger mouth. So there'll be a call here. So if you give up too much outside, I'll have a call.
So I think what Filippo means is if I connect here, and black can hane. So we talked about this earlier when we were trying to figure out the meaning of this. Is black can actually benefit on that side.
Yeah, remember this is a center of mine, so I can play this forcing move.
And white has to connect.
I'll get the outside first, forcing you to live in the corner. So I think this doesn't work, right?
Yeah, I don't think that works.
So you can only cut from here. And since I cannot play this directly, but I can reserve the chance of playing this. I'll start the call. Maybe you protect it somehow.
And then throw in.
I can use this kind of things as
and then I have to respawn here and capture back.
And now we see the dilemma of white is that you don't have enough code threads.
And also, not only it's just code, but white is actually owing a move here. If white tanukis, black can just push out through here.
It is possible for me to play this before.
Right.
So in a single step, I can just dismiss the code here.
Right. You can capture the whole thing, and that's definitely much better than black capturing inside here. Right.
So remember, if I dismiss a code, then this group is not alive yet.
Because of that Ataru still. Right. So it's big trouble for white. But I'm still surprised what the AI did.
Yeah.
What the AI just kind of said, I gave up. Maybe that's not what it thought, but I in my mind that's what they did. So after the Atari, the AI played this move.
I think
why?
Yeah, most AI versions have some trouble reading ladders, maybe.
Maybe. I think that's the only explanation now. So for those of you who didn't follow the game before, after this peak, which is definitely Sente, black can just Atari and capture these 3 stones. It's almost the simplest net you can have, right? And it's a 5Q net. But the AI kind of just dismissed this. And after this move, it was over pretty much, right?
I think the programmer resigned for Handol.
Right, and this ladder doesn't work. But maybe it worked at the time that they play this move. This ladder.
Or maybe the AI missed the net.
But I
thought there is a ladder here.
Oh, but I feel like they should have saw the net, right? But the ladder is more moved.
The problem is that the problem is that for this kind of ladder and nets, there are a lot of, one-way kind of reading that requires a lot of reading.
Right. It requires a lot of stones.
So yeah,
Right. And that was a big weak point for many AIs, that they can't read ladders because
so
it's a
according to
one-way.
my knowledge, some of the AI versions do some debug about ladder by just telling AI, this is a ladder, try to read as ladder. So if he reads like that, this doesn't work. So maybe for AI, because this is a ladder shape, so read as ladder and it doesn't work. So you will treat it as not work.
That's possible. Yeah, that's another explanation. Yeah, but I mean, the end basically after I think they exchanged some moves.
Yeah.
And then White extended, and then I think White had pushed one more, and that's the final moves. And then White resigns here. So
still what a game, I think. Even though White didn't, I mean, the AI doesn't misread, this is still a very good move, I think.
Yeah. This is still one of the best moves locally anyway, but it's still astounding what the AI did right near the end. But wow, this is amazing because we started 2 stones, right? Because Lee Sedol wins this game, he plays a even game against the AI in the second game. So, wow.
And I think besides this God move, I think this move actually shows his courage.
Right. Lee Sedol's spirit of never backing down, no matter how good the game is.
Even though the AI is a lot stronger in terms of reading, I always trust my reading.
Right. And I think maybe that says something about Lee Sedol himself, but in terms of for us and us playing these handicap games, it's important to remember, don't fight without being sure that your reading works. Even though your opponent is stronger than you, it's important to not completely get destroyed in one local result, just because you can always have other chances elsewhere. But then it's also important not to play too slow. So in the end, it goes to, we should always try to play the proper move. But what is the proper move? So that was the first game in memory of Lee Sedol's retirement. Don't go away. We will bring you games 2 and 3 in the near future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to give me a like or leave a comment. If you have any questions about any of our review, feel free to do so. And my name is Ryan.
I'm Mr. Filippo. Thank you for watching.
We will see you next time.